Hi guys, and welcome back to DAI. We have a lot to do here, and I've got a lot to do in my personal life at the moment, but let's get started, record. There's going to be a lot of Codex here.
Left.
Excuse me.
The Chantry promised they'd defend us.
Is what they're saying real? The Inquisition's going to fix the hole in the sky?
That's what we're attempting, yes.
No one is doing anything. The Chantry's useless, and the Templars... Andraste. I never thought they'd abandon us. Listen. Your camp will need food. I have contacts. We'll have deliveries there in days.
You want to help the Inquisition?
Never been part of something this big before, but... if your Inquisition's going to seal the sky, I want to help.
What do you think, Cassandra?
I think the woman is asking you and not me.
Well, she is.
The Herald of Andraste. Yes, I understand. Haven is a mess, but we won't turn away anyone willing to help. Invite her, if it pleases you.
Head to Haven, then. We need good...
Excuse me.
I don't know if it's that, but it will be nice to see. Thank you.
What's that? An arrow with a message?
Yes, Cass, it is. Alright. Emperor Florian. Grand Duke Florian. Okay. Grand Duke Florian was not supposed to ascend to the Olesian throne. His elder brother, Emperor Jusical II, had two twin sons, and thus a very secured line. Florian was free to pursue other interests, none of which revolved around the game. Indeed, the imperial court largely ignored him, and that's how he liked it. Although that is recorded... Hold on, guys. Excuse me. Recorded of that era is that he married, produced a single daughter, and afterwards showed little interest in her. Excuse me. I have like a itchy throat here. An outbreak of 100 days cough in the 877 blessed, how fitting, changed his plans. Both of Judical's sons perished, as did Florian's daughter. Racked by grief, Judical lost interest in ruling, turning over all matters pertaining to the rebellion in the Ferelden to his advisors, and instead spending his time hunting in the country. When Judical was thrown from his horse during a fox hunt in 884 Blessed, Florian was suddenly vaulted into the throne. Famously, his response to the Chevaliers delivering the news at his estate is said to be, "This will not do at all." A private, somewhat eccentric man, Florian limited his appearance at court and dealt almost exclusively with members of his own family. He was extremely particular about his habits of dress and grooming, issuing current fashions for the sake of comfort and refusing to wear cosmetics or powders of any kind due to an intense dislike of being dirty. Powerful and connected nobles who had served in the cabinet since his father's time were turned away in favor of his younger brother Reinhard, his sister Menade, and his cousin. Children were banned from the palace, even the children of servants, with the exception of his nephew and nieces, who were tolerated only on the condition that they remained out of the empire's sight. Regarding the suggestion that Florian and his youngest cousin Menrin were lovers, the truth is uncertain. If such a relationship existed, it is no doubt kept private due to Florian's aversion to public life and not from any fear of rumors. Such rumors, after all, were likely spread due to the Empire's refusal to sire another child and thus secure his line. Many believed this failing would eventually lead to civil war. The only real evidence of a relationship with Meryn is a loud and very public argument the two had prior to Meryn's appointment, or exile as he saw it, to the throne of Ferelden. Meryn is said to have called Florian my darling, and neither man chose to explain the argument later. The predictions of the Civil War almost came to pass upon Florian's death in 919 Dragon. With no clear heir, the throne eventually passed to the only daughter of Grand Duke Reynolds, Celine, after a vicious struggle that threatened to assume the empire from the emperors of Orlais by brother Harlan Arca. Okay. Mysterious arrow here is a favors to favors for friends. A message is attached, written in a large flowy hand and bordered with doodles. People say you're special. I want to help, and I could bring everyone. There's a baddie in Val Royeaux. I hear he wants to hurt you. Have a search for the red things in the market, the docks, and around the cafe, and maybe you'll meet him first. Bring swords. Friends of Jenny. A poor drawing of a location in the market is attached. Okay. And I believe examine. La Pomme vie immorte. I butchered that. And that's the last time I'm going to say that one. It is said that the apples that grow near the gallows will be bitter on the tongue of a lover who will betray. It is also said, although by different people entirely, that unripened fruit should not be the only consideration when ingesting matters of fertility. The later are lonely most evenings among the arbor of the summer bazaar. From Our Elysian Hearts by formerly Sister Ladune. Okay. Next. She of the High Man repents. Gallow masters, hold thy hand, hold it back a while. Gallus Gerard, let me stand, let me bear a smile. For comes my brother in distance, for comes my Savior soon. I stand here, more insistence, I will receive my boon. Fellow soldiers, hold thy voice, hold it if you may. Follow shoulders, show my choice, I am in your sway. And know my crime was cruel and all my pain deserve. I stand here as a fool, despite my brother's service. Mother dearest, look away, look into the sun. Others nearest, gone astray, you will be undone. For no more will I prattle, and no more will I pray. Here you must the rattle. Here you must the rattle as life flies away. Okay. From the song of an old Elysian, Olay, she of the highwayman repent, inscription collected by formerly Sister Ladune. Okay. Good. No additional codexes. Okay. So now I'm just making sure that I don't miss anything. Here's another one. Not of heroes, united hatred. If we are re-examining motives, let us not stop at the sons of the betrayer, for the first leader of the young Olay after the sons was Javis, chattel wife of 2 of them, but examine the facts. A proud daughter of Siren chose not unkindly by Arsra to be his bride. It was her reach that granted him power to unify. Consider what she witnessed in the consolation of her people. She has always been portrayed with sadness. But what if, when our nation was born, the game was born with it? Judging her actions not as a proprietor, but as a master, and what changes. As a victim, Isra, rumored cruel, breaks the clans in a lust for power. His brother Veril, exiled from his own machinations in young Navarra, appealed to the saddened wife and promised a new path. The brother Vile and Veril's wins, and then demands the hand of Justice, another Ferelden greedy for power. In a decade, the shy victim Javis is the figure of the people's rebellion against the last son of the betrayer. As a master, bound to rivalries far older, she harbors a hatred beyond the winter, and while Isra is distracted with personal concerns or with building a nation to withstand his own people's enemies, she invites the broken brother and sets him against the driven, while accepting marriage to the victor. Sheriff seeds rebellions among those who remember how their lands were taken not a generation before. Both leave her as ruler, Ijava. But should not the ruler of the victim be uncertain? Javis rules for 42 years. There was no great swing backwards, no people retribution, for she had become accustomed. If the goal of Ezra were selfish and the goals of Javis were to reverse them, then Olay is born of the failure of both. But if Ezra was built his father's wall and Javis wanted revenge, then we are a nation of 2 successes. 2 parents in opposition, but in partnership. Excerpt from the history not of heroes, reading in the ugly hearts of the change collected by Film a Bard.
I believe that messenger is trying to get our attention.
Okay.
You are the Herald of Andraste, are you not? I have an invitation for you.
Invitation, First Enchanter Vivian. You are cordially invited to attend my salon held at the Chateau of Duke Baston de Glissain. Yours, Vivian de Fer, First Enchanter of Montsemar, Enchanter to the Imperial Court. Okie dokie. The Imperium Immortal means a plaque reads, for all matters, defense, concern of offense, intent, and study of arts martial, and, with sanctions, magical. Okay. So, now let's go read these. Read. Okay. The first Lion of Olay. In respect to the Empire of Fons Valmont, the Lions of Olay, a repeating element dedicated to the great defender otherwise noted, is rumored that one is gold, one is bronze, and one weighs with poison, one is chocolate, and one is watching. As the saying goes, dare we all a thief to test his back, and learn which is most dangerous, to try to deny Olay. In truth, all are lead and leaf. Don't pretend to ride them too long, lest the mind gives away. Expert and torn from a disposable walking tour of the capital by Femin a Bard. Okay. So now we're going to go around this whole thing here. Grace of the Empire North. A notice reads, this display reserves for discouraged political, with attending professions of social matters from the University of LA. Note that all vendors of laughable groceries will be closed in the hour beforehand and for 1/2 after. The second line of Olay, in respect to Duke Azor Diorlasian. Grace of the Empire West, a noticeable reads, this display reserves for presentation of after affection as thought private and also discount spirits presented by company Misdirect Theater. And okay. Come on. The third line of Olay, in respect to Duke Van of Chevarian. Grace of the Empire South, a noticeable notice reads, reserved for his strangest sursound and his static puppet behind glass. The fourth lion of Olay, in respect to Duke Stephen of Vamahe. Grace of the Empire East, the plaque reads, welcome all before the Grace of the Empire, stage and audience, for the use of all, for the theater and business, for partnership and proposal, be seen. A notice below reads, this display reserves for songs traditionally by Lord Bumford and his players. Cancelled. And that's it for that. Now I believe we were back here. Don't believe there's nothing here. Okay. Why do I keep seeing the weird stuff that I think is part of things here? Okay. I'm not even going to try butchering that. We cheered with honors her might, but many more deserve a thought. For though she was the first a knight, her king and her kind have always fought. From a plaque with dedication, Lee Mascaron, sponsored by Prince Cornine, First Chevalier, for that we stood beside. Sure. Whatever floats your boat, and nothing here. Okay.
We maintain an Inquisition presence on Commander Cullen's orders. This has been received as you might expect.
Oh yeah.
It's true.
Oh, yes.
The head of Madame Snippy Snip, mascot of Le Marquis de Lone, named in jest but generally respected. The Grand Madame, as she is also called, was the last dragon brought down by Sir Conan, the previous owner of the cafe, a spirited hunter. Conan came of age in the years following the sight that named the error. While others were quick to assume the tales of the ancient Navarian dragon hunters must have been exaggerated, he tracked the gradually increased in dragon numbers and size. Conan believed we had yet to see a true return of the beast of legend, and that the specimen of the day of his days were young, despite their ferocity. It is a cruel victory, but today we know certain to have been correct, even as he may have fallen to his own experience. He was years overdue from his last hunt, and for the rest of us, travel weary. What we thought to be the pinnacle of dragon strength may have been closer to adolescence. The sisters of the Madame Snips may have left their siblings far behind, and torn from a disposable walking tour of the capital by Film a Bard. Okay, and we just already unlocked another one here. Not of Heroes, Madrath and Sacrifice. Andraste, Our Lady, the sword and the fire against Deventer, betraying to the Empire in exchange for her kingdom. Madrath now summonlessly the treacherer. But would Andraste have won, and if not, what would we have lost? Let us look not in just at the act, but at the why of it. As armies of the faith pierced the Imperium homeland, it was revealed not as a wave, but as an arrow. And as any hunter will attest, if your aim is not true, there is no returning to the bow. We must consider how much of Our Lady's victory to this point was against the true Imperium, and how much was against the echoes of the Empire. Andraste, the inspiration, may have not considered such, but Madrath, the general, fought for homeland, not visions. Was it victory or defeat that his betrayal held at bay? Madrath made the deal that killed Our Lady. That is a fact. And when Andraste died, Madrath was gifted everything from the southern plains south. How generous and impossible to hold this must have seemed. Let us look on Madrath and the legacy he divided among his sons, not with any eye for accusation, but from a tactical consideration, for he must have known that the mere rivals had never stopped Deventer. What if he set about creating peers, and none of this was accident? How then fared Erith, Evelyn, and Varad, experted from a history not of heroes, reading in the ugly heart of change collected by Film a Bard. Okay. Tales. Okay, I am not reading that. I'm sorry, guys. If you want me to read the scening stuff, then that's fine, but they get old really quick because they're repetitive. For friends. A different, simple scribble on the back of the stable report, marked with red paint. Thank you, friends, for helping good Lady Kurth. Saw those who asked about Harold entered third passage, could not stay to see them exit. Okay. So, there is another one here. And let me see the time here, because I'm going to have to get going soon, and I apologize. Let's see. The summer homes of Monsieur Clubs. A plaque reads, a seasonal home for the childhood pet of the twin sons of Emirate Yvette. The nature of the Monsieur Glubs remains unknown, save that he was a gift from a Raveni emissary, and he was eventually released to the sea after taking the hands of a sluggish page. Good day to you.
Breath does the darkness creep.
And there should be another one here, yes. The Lover's Alcove. Every district has one, at least one. And the question must be, why is a place meant for delights declared in such an obvious way? And the answer, of course, is that obvious is the entirety of the point. When manners and stations will not allow impassioned words, such corners are placed to be seen, not being seen. Entering with a parmal is much a declaration as a singing out in joy, which one of good standings must never do. The alcove is thus a dignified means of announcing romantic obligations. Yeah, whatever. Each for genuine partnership, or to appears as such in order to spare a suitor of refusal. Dignity, of course, requires that one does not also make use of the darkness for actual physical gratification. This has, of course, never occurred. From our Elysian heart by formless sister Ludun. Interesting. So it's the rejection code, not the lover's code. Her Majesty convince. A plaque reads, "For Her Majesty convince woods and vines defy the very sun and rain." Not of heroes, the death of diversity. What could hold back an empire? Another. What could hold back so defined a people as Deventer? Another. Let us consider if the eldest Israel was not meant to honor Melfreth, for the father's fate was already condemned by hidden betrayal. Let us consider that Israel was told to turn from the tides to Manratha, to look forward, not back. What of his actions then? Israel was granted a land of tribes of scattered alliances. His answer was the grand unification, which most condemned as arrogance, sweeping changes in trade, relocation to break local alliances, all to favor centralized trade and power. Cities were leveled to expand a new capital, a powerful and influential city of a new nation, Val Royeaux of Olay, and all in the name of not lost Andraste, but of holding back looming Deventer. Power was united, but cultures less so. Investing everyone in a new Olay stratified the classes, and through it all spread a bitterness that a Ferelden ruled. Israel avoided the stain of his father, for he was seen as a victim too, but he was still love-Rennie. What if, dear readers, the final unification element came not from accident or even the deliverance action of Israel, but from a common hatred, and not the common hatred of the day? The sons of Mathra would succeed at creating a peer for Deventer, but not only at a cost of themselves. Israel from history, not of heroes, reading in the ugly hearts of change, collected by Film the Bard. Okay, one more, guys. And this is where I'm going to end it because I have to leave to the school now. So, I will see if I got time to continue Val Royeaux and the codexes, and at least get us to the ending where we can leave here. So Victory and Shade. A plaque reads, "Here grows one of the many strange trophies returned from libertation of Kirkwall in 760 Storm, where the brave Elysian forces turned back the unstoppable Cornori. A cutting salvage from a burning dreadnought was presented to the Empire Surun, and it was tended to, fully grown by a careful hand of Val Royeaux's master landscrapers." Alright, guys, this is where we're going to end it for the moment, and I will come back so that we can finish this episode. And like I said, I want this episode to be fully Val Royeaux and codexes of the town and of Olay, and then we'll continue on to furthering the game. So I will be back in the video. It's just going to cut me straight back in, but as you know, it may not be put out today, and we may have to pick this up tomorrow. All right. We'll see you when I get back. Hey guys, and I'm gonna put this all in one episode, but Yeah, so I wasn't able to record like I wanted to yesterday. So we're picking up where I
Inquisition, eh?
left off.
I'll sell. But if the Chantry censures you, I'm not liable. No offense, but I have to live here, and Val Royeaux can be traditional.
Uh-huh, I understand. Okay. Nothing I want. I'll have to come back later, because there'll be more merchants later open up for us.
No,
So-
I did not see him.
Let's go. Also, there'll be another merchant in here that will come back for.
Oh, they made the ask. I will not.
The apples nearest the cafe are said to change their taste depending on the weather one is walking towards or away from the gallows. And of course they do, for the taste is subject to the whims of the heart, and no meal is favored after tears, but dare it anyway, for none know the taste of joy such as we do, not shy from experience.
Why not? The Inquisition offers good.
I don't think there's anything from this guy that I want. No. Oh, we're good. Okay. Let's talk to the revered mother.
This victory must please you greatly, Seeker Cassandra.
We came here seeking only to speak with the mothers. This is not our doing, but yours.
And you had no part in forcing our hand? Do not delude yourself. Now we have been shown up by our own Templars, in front of everyone. And my fellow clerics have scattered to the wind along with their convictions. Just tell me one thing. If you do not believe you are the Maker's chosen,
Fairly
then what
okay,
are
I guess. Trying to get all three of them in the pitch, all four of them in the picture, but it looks like Varric got bumped.
Someone who can help close the breach and end this madness.
that is more comforting than you might imagine. I suppose it is out of our hands now. We shall all see what
And
the
now
Maker
everybody,
plans in the days to come.
would you quit pushing my people around?
You're obviously skeptical. What do you believe I am?
Our divine, Her Holiness is dead. I have
Now
seen
Solus is
evidence
not even
for
in the
everything,
picture.
except what would comfort me.
He's
That
stuck.
doesn't answer my question.
For you to be true, a great many things must be false. And if you are false, a great many things must have failed. There is chaos ahead, whatever your intentions.
So what happens now? Will the Chantry continue to denounce me?
We have already done so. And what good has it done us? Now it falls on us to select a new divine, if we can, and leave the next step to her.
Provided such a selection is even possible.
I truly don't know. Any revered mother who could have followed Justinia died at the Conclave. What becomes of us, and your Inquisition, is in the Maker's hands now.
Where is the Lord Seeker taking the Templars?
I can't begin to guess the Lord Seeker's mind. He could not have abandoned his intended role more completely.
There must be sense to what we can't see.
Must there? Rebellion seems popular in certain quarters, doesn't it, Seeker? Is crafting the Templars into a new power really any worse than declaring a rival to the Chantry itself?
What were you hoping the Lord Seeker would do exactly?
Put aside his war against the mages and find common purpose against something much more dire. Obviously, he has other plans. With the knights vigilant slain at the Conclave, there is nothing more we can do.
Perhaps there is something we can do.
I'd like to believe that, Seeker. I truly would. I suppose we can expect renewed effort against the mages from him, and yet more chaos.
How many Templars turned on the Chantry exactly?
They rebelled across Thedas. Some remained loyal, but not enough to call them the Order. The White Spire here in the capital was the largest garrison, but now it stands empty. Perhaps more shall flock to the Lord Seeker's banner now. How far has faith waned, I wonder?
How are people responding to all of this?
Despair. Fear. We mourn Her Holiness. The people look to the sky and wonder how long before terror comes for us all. There must be a way through this. Is it you? The Templars? The Maker's Will? We abandoned our duties. We servants of the faith. Now we can only pray.
There's got to be a way to calm everything down and clean up this mess.
I hope against hope that may be the case.
Okay. You're still glitching. Oh well. Difficult times for those who have lost. While I understand concerns for property and the general dressing of the bazaar, I must caution that release is needed. We are suffering not just ongoing civil conflict, pitting brother against sister, not just outright war pitting Templars against mage, not just the loss of our most holy and the best of our leaders. We are suffering all three as the sky is mooning for all to see. All we know of our world is threatened along with all we know of the next. With this most grave notion, I ask that rights of losses and missing remains, that the citizens... Ooh, sorry, I have a cough drop and I almost swallowed it. One moment. Okay, however, indirectly, be allowed to post the grief of known dead and the names of hopefully living, and with them, their criticism of how they've been told or not told. For a while, I have no doubt as Olesians we will maintain our utmost composure. There must be release. There must be grief. There must be mourning. If we do not allow the sample's expressions, we risk greater outbursts. Let our people shed their tears in as reserved as means as necessary. The market will be cleared in due course, but this time, we must let this example expression stand. Written by Captain Albanin, Olesian Guard, Summer Bazaar. Ooh. Okay, let me get rid of this cough drop. Mort de la Mere was cut from Val Royeaux in 849 Blessed. It was the will of the Manus Empire Revel who reminded a reflecting pool large enough to draw his vain decreased mother back across the veil. Many shops and vendors were evicted to make room for his folly, and several memories to those heroes of the first four blights were simply toppled. The reservoir supported little in the way of life, as the bottom was lined with lead to increase its reflection properties. Reveal intends it for divination using boats as massive plateaus. But work was not finished until the week of his own death. The water sees little use today, save for the lazy or for vacation sojourned by the nobility aboard decorative gondolas. expert and torn from a disposed walking tour of the capital by footmen.
We should search the area.
I will in a moment. Reserve stocking evaluation. Tremors floating. Taste is off. Water birds die off. Restocking failed. Not fish fit. Do not consume. Red handkerchief. Favor from favors for friends. A red handkerchief folded around a key with a small, hastily scrawl. The key lifted from a drunk swearing about Harold. Don't know what door. I'm out. My debt is paid. Freaking interesting, huh? A waterlogged cordy massive of suspicion future. The Randy Dollar welcomes the blooms of spring with the collected. Capital Cursor being a scandalous representation of Her Majesty's favored, caught in a flagrant detectable. Can their uniforms and modesty withstand the assault? The Randy Donger exhibition for the noble of thoughts, but spry of step. The lady herself says, hardly Tetris, but generously arousing if polished cursa does it for you. But it should. 3 scarves fluttered in shock out of the 5 RD. Whoever RD is. Alright, now, unfortunately, there's still more codexes, and we're gonna go ahead.
Ever since our divine was murdered,
Okay. Some areas have multiple levels. Click icons on the top right to view them. And we're going up here. And we're starting here.
You must admit that new leadership would be refreshing.
I admit nothing of the sort.
I admit nothing of the sort.
What other measure would I use? That is Olay.
Okay, so we don't need to go there, although the view is really pretty, but we're gonna go ahead and take care of codexes, is what the goal is today. The mysteries and meanings of the 8 silks. 8 silks draped across the Belle Marche. 8 silks that frame the sky and shade the calm of the commerce. But why 8? That's the question it poses time and again by visitors and philosophers. What in the grand history of our capital is displayed in the subtlety choice, the ages? But we have had 9, and what fool would have made such a prediction? There is nothing in Olesian mindset in the heart of Olay that suggests even a hint of accepting an end to our way. Perhaps then something less flattering, but veiled. It is opined that the 8 represents the twin boys of the Empress Vanette, born 799, which herald the blessed age. Being the intertwined loops of the numbers 8 itself, it is not value. The more irrelevant suggests that the 8 could as easily be as the slight against Evet's figure, for she was rumored to be stout, but determined in her choice of corsetry. Both theories are scoffed by the historians as mere number fetish. What emerged when we consider the longevity of the question is not that there is meaning to be found, but there is ingrained in us to search as though there is, for we need to believe that such a prominent detail of the greatest city the world has ever known must be thoroughly ripped with meaning, and so certain are we that we discount even the architect who grew so annoyed of the questions that he had the answers engraved on his memorial. There were 16 rods. How compare his facts to our search for the truth? From our hearts, or our Legion hearts, by formerly Sister Ludun. Okay, back up. Those games. I don't think there's anything in here. Okay.
A pleasure to meet you.
I'm sure. The Waiting in the Cove. A plaque reads, "Forever empty in anticipation of the articulate envidor worthy of envy and insolent jealousy of the capital and her glorious empire. 848 blessed." Scratched below in the inscription, mad shit, empty as his head. Pillars of her everlasting flame. A plaque bears the following inscription: "The pillar of her everlasting flame ignited the 530 exalted, camped 562 exalted. Forgive them their petty nature, for the suit of the eternal flames blacken their silks." Okay. Okay. That should be the last of it up here. So, back up. Yes. I don't think there's anything over here. Oh, yeah, there is. The Randy Downer Quarterly, an extra thick annual edition of the Suspected Quarterly. The Randy Downer welcomes the new year by scandalizing the old with collected romantic epic. The Horned Ones, being a tale of conquest both of the nation and of the heart, demanding are satisfied as bronze giants shared their explosive passion. The Randy Dollinger exhibits for the noble thoughts but spray of step. The lady herself says only those of particular tastes, delectable buds, should remain in the garden while the bold of us flower. 5 scars flutter in the shock out of 5 RD. I don't think there's anything over there. Okay. So...
a pleasing pair, it seems.
Shop.
Good for the happy couple.
Is this a shop?
I maintain a premises wherein customers of a certain affluence entertain the purchase of my ware. So yes, shop.
Don't you mean wares?
No, I mean ware. I have one item available for purchase. It is far too expensive for it merely to be sold. You may gaze upon it and dream of the wealth required to possess it, as have lords and kings. And then you may leave and purchase things from shops more aligned with your station.
How do you keep the doors open on a shop with one item?
My shop is a destination. Luminaries of every description journey here to see what is denied to them. Some pay tribute, in the vain hope I will barter. They do not have the will to pay the price. They require a bargain to justify the spend, to ease their conscience. That would defeat the entirety of the purpose.
I can't see it. Tell me what it is.
If you have to ask, you are not the one to buy it.
I need to know if I can use it.
And again, the point is missed. If mere use is your concern, you should go elsewhere. The person who claims this will not be known for using it. They will be known because they paid for it.
So you sell one very expensive item, and it's worth it?
Let me now interrupt the inevitable defense of your thrift. I'm sure you have treasures, and you will have many more. You could parade them from here to Halam Shiral, but none of that would allow you to say you have purchased this. The item is irrelevant. The price is worth it.
I don't see why this is special. Anyone can overprice something.
To overprice an the item must have a known value already. It is then priced over what it is worth. This has only the value I have set. It has never had another. It is not overpriced. It is priced.
Very well.
Well, goodbye then.
Yes.
Let's do it. I think I have enough money. Bye. Examine. Even though I have one.
Undone. Buried in wealth, but undone.
Okay. And I believe that is it.
Come to me, child.
No.
And I shall.
Oh. It is not. Okay. Let's try this again. Excuse me, Solus. Oh, Morgan. I thought that was really the end of it.
Maker, though the darkness comes upon me, I shall embrace the light. I shall wed.
I think there's a book right over here. Yes. Well, paper, I guess. Logging in the upper court, a torn page from an unsigned diary. My weakness bids me not by chance to gaze upon the upper court, where shadows of your final dance and wishes of my heart consort. Let's see how beautiful that is. We probably should have went over there to see all that, but it's very gorgeous. Travel. Okay. Examine. The season for a fall. At the window, the thief did witness attempt assault of the Lady Cassidy. He surrendered his chance for escape to catch and hold her assailant, a bard of Lord Haven. Hero, thief, foiled bard, and conspiring nobles were all considered as per their station and relevant action. Lashing and Lauber disappeared and obstropolized for the social season, respectively. The scandal played out for longer in the theoretically sterilized adaptation, which remained the three as siblings separated at birth, competing for Lady Cassihan at the orchestration. The conclusion was relatively accurate to the original event, save the punishment of the thief and the noble being swapped to comic effect. Generally good reviews receive through some thoughts the heights of the lady's hair to be unrealistic. Experts in torn from a disposable working tour of the capital by film. Favors for friends. A scrap of parchment is hastily torn from an ordered document, stuffed into hiding space with a large red sock, and we are to obey well. We meet at 3 bells to discuss how the best way to serve this new way. Scrawled below in a misspelled script, Herald Goat at time. Praise and dress. Take together the message revealed at the time, path, and the key to the location on the world map. Okay, down we go. Okay, nothing down here, which is fine. Okay, now we're going back over here. Not of heroes, divisions, and distance. For a supposed creature of jealousy and greed, Meta is less so indeed. For while his world brought low the bridge of the Maker, his prize was quickly divided and distanced. Let us consider lesser of the sons in this matter. Of Everin we know little. The middle boy, he was tasked with ruling the lands to be the marchers. No claim by the father was made, no in my name to humble, and the freedom is shown in the results, for Everin himself was the least concerned with power. He among all led by example, not demand, and spoke only of sacrifice. When betrayal was revealed, Everin acted as a man broken, despairing with his holdings to the various tribes. It was penance that spared him his family, but it also dispersed influence. To this day, the free marchers are scattered. Of Vera, Morn is known, for his actions brings him to the start of our nation, but his folly began in Navarra, where he must ask, was this the will of the betrayer father, or a mistake of youth? Mether gave the rule to the youngest, Red, and never claimed Navarra. Never did he sit on the throne, and he is thought to have rarely visited. But his name is hated there most of all, for it was bartered for legacies by the son. Unlike Irvin, Vera spoke not as an example, but to claim. Never his name was mentioned without that of his mother and father. His claims were bold. Their actions were his, and their thoughts all shared. But from the father of on his throne in Ferelden, no word is recorded. And we wonder, what was it deliberate? For when the betrayer was revealed, all were ties to Methor were verified. And so the strong were tied to Vera had drawn that his court was killed to a man, and he was forced to flee. Had kept silent, as seems the will of the knowing father, and he had girdled as the father had guided the elder. Isra then the Vera might have remained to rule, but that would require that the betrayer not be as he is drawn. And it would have kept Vera in Navarra, and it would have kept Vera from Olay, and it would have prevented the further betrayal that truly birthed Olay. Very interesting. Randy Darner Quarterly, Futuro. The Randy Dory ignites winter passions with collected constructs by love, being a tale of heroes, come legends of the Grey Wardens and their shiny duty to claim those of promise who most suit their joining. The Randy Daughter exhibit for the noble thoughts, but spray of step. The lady herself says, always a classic when wardens come a-calling. Or dare one suggest the reverse, for scarfs flutter in the shock out of 5 RD. So back to the previous one. So if you think about it, the one was supposed to lead Navarra, but chose to go to Olay and start that. Never sat on the throne, so that is the reason why, Olay and Navarra dislike each other, which is very interesting. But anyway, that concludes all the codexes in here, everybody that we needed to talk to. So in the next episode, starting Monday, we will exit out Val Royeaux and head back to Haven, but we have a couple stops and a couple of companions to pick up next time. So we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye now.